All right, Virgo, Virgo rising, those with their moons in Virgo. Welcome to November, where it's Scorpio season. And Scorpio season started on October 22nd. So you're going to already be feeling the vibes, right? And it lasts until about November 21st. Scorpio season is activating your third house of the communications, the marketplace, maybe teaching something as well, but there's just lots of busy for you, Virgo, here in November. Lots of new texts and neighbors contacting you and community involvement, perhaps. And for some of you, it could be even getting a new vehicle. Um, Something about the vehicle and make sure all the tire pressure and oil pressure and all that kind of stuff is tickety boo. And because you will be doing a lot of short trips here in November within the community quite often as well. It's just a very busy time here. It's good for sharing your message and communications in the third house for you, Virgo. Now we get the full moon on November 5th in Taurus. It likes being there. The moon likes being in Taurus. Okay. So this is a good spot for everybody. And it's activating your ninth house of expanding your horizons. This could be you learning something or teaching something or maybe publishing something as well. There's a highlight. Maybe you've been working on a book or a lead magnet or something. And now the full moon that week, November 5th week, you finally completed it. You've finally done that book. You've done the publishing. You've done what you've been needing to do there. Um, so you're gonna find that that's kind of a a relief that you've finished the thing. So that looks cool. Some of you may have been planning a trip overseas or um, something like that as well. And it could be like some of you have been wanting to get your master's or your doctorate or something like that in education. So something about the education, Virgo, could be finding its end on November 5th. I mean, we have this teacher strike, right, in Alberta, in Canada, and maybe, November 5th, everything about the strike is ended, right? The teachers go back to school, the kids go back to school, everything like that. We'll see all that. And in any case, there is a nice feeling of, finally it's over, whatever that is for you. Okay, Virgo. Now we do get a new moon, a new beginning on November 20th. So write this down. It is in your third house. So there you're really on November 20th that week. You're gonna feel something new in the third house of the communications, the branding, the social media, maybe something new about the marketplace and expressing yourself in some way, singing, writing, blogging, the community. There's something new there for you. So take advantage of that. This is a good time to maybe teach a skills based learning, or maybe you're taking a course yourself about that, learning a new skill to up level yourself to either make more money or something like that. But there's just a lot of busy for you, Virgos, in November. Lots of communication, lots of learning, lots of teaching, and lots of community involvement. And for some of you on that new moon, new beginnings, November 20th, this is about your siblings in the third house. You might be hearing more about your brother, your sister, or having to nurture them, help them, or maybe just hearing from them. You haven't heard from your brother in like 6 months and suddenly he calls, stuff like that. Like there could be more messaging. There's a lot of messaging here for you, Virgo, in November. Lots of messages. Text messages, phone calls, invitations, social. Your house could be busy, getting lots of neighbors or lots of people canvassing you at your door. The doorbell rings too much, stuff like that. So be ready for some busy, which can be good if you're a business owner, by the way. More action, more people equals more sales. So just say. Now, we do have some stuff for you, Virgo, at home with Mars and Sagittarius on November 5th. There's some kind of fiery home activation there. This can mean a lot of things depending on your personal chart, though. So I'm not going to go too deep into this, but expect your home and real estate to be a little bit more busy and wanting to be free in some way, freeing yourself from the lease, freeing yourself from something happening at home that hasn't been favorable, freeing yourself. That's that Sagittarius vibe with Mars and Sagittarius in your house, your real estate, or your parents in some way as well. And then I like to look at Mercury. What's Mercury doing, Virgo? Because that's your ruling planet, the thinking planet, the talking planet. And Mercury has been in your second house of the money and will be for most of November. You are working on your financial stuff. Your mind, Mercury, is on the second house of how you value yourself and of your income streams and your money. So there's a lot of that going on right now. It could be thinking about what's going in your mouth. Food is fuel. Cooking could be a good thing. Getting more into the cooking, the natural foods, and things like that to nurture yourself. That could be a thing too. Or you could be spending more money on certain things to beautify your house or your marketing, or maybe you're buying more courses or something like that. But you could be spending money here until November 18th. But hopefully it's good debt, right? Good debt that will make you money in the long run. And then on November 18th, your planet Mercury moves into Scorpio in that third house. So you're really going to feel the vibe of being busy. Maybe it's a good time to communicate what you offer, spread the word. Maybe you're going on more social media, podcasting, being interviewed, things like that, where you're getting a message out and marketing yourself. That could be a thing. Or maybe you're teaching, Virgo, some kind of new thing, or getting back into the grind. You're really feeling getting back into it, especially if you're a teacher. Okay, Virgo, you're really getting back into the teaching vibe and getting back into that busy feeling again. Um, and shining in your branding, your marketing, yourself. What do you offer? And spreading the word about that's a very good thing, and spreading it within your community. So if you own your own business, for example, it's a really great time to market yourself. Send out those business cards, tell the world, do more Instagram posts, whatever, do more lives, get out there, send the message. That's the third house for you, Virgo, in November general, is the message, sending out your message, talking on festivals, spreading the word, you know, and selling. The third house is very about marketplace. Another thing the third house, Virgo, is what's doing for you is working more with divination tools like the oracle cards and the tarot cards and the astrology, and looking at that kind of stuff. That's a very third house thing as well, to gain leverage and to move forward in your life in some way. It's a lot about not the big philosophical learning, but the real quick little spurts of learning, or how do I say it, like the skills based learning, like learning a new skill or teaching a new skill. Just one problem that you solve, not the whole world problem, but one thing, right? Focusing on one thing that you can help someone with, or yourself, or whatever. It's more smaller problem, and it's not so general. It's very specific. So maybe it's a time where you Virgo, you're wanting to learn a special skill to up level yourself in some way. That's what you want to do in November for sure. Okay, so let's pull some cards for you, Virgo. We've got the Power of Eight Chakra Oracle and the Power of Eight Chakra Lenormand. These are available as a set on my website, www.themoontree.org. Okay, and so let's pull some cards for you, Virgo, and see this third house of busy activation, communication, and marketing and selling, and neighbors, neighborhood, community. Like what else could we know with the cards? All right. So we'll take the cards and we'll knock it 3 times. All right. And we'll shuffle. And then we will pull a card for Virgo in November during Scorpio season. What could we know for Virgo? And I get very specific. I wait until something's very obvious to show up Virgo. There it is. All right. Ooh, the whip, the conflict. So some of you Virgos might be with all this third house communication and talking, right? And people and social and whatever. Well, it could be that in some cases you have a little bit of conflict, verbal conflict with someone, or debates, or there's just a lot of information going back and forth. And that could be a thing for you as well. But this can also say, let's offset some energy by doing an exercise program, right? Something exercising, and it can be fun exercise because the third house wants to be fun. So maybe it's like doing aquafit, or maybe doing a dance, or I don't know, something exercise routine that feels fun for you could be good, or just going walking out in nature or something like that can be the whip as well. But often it can mean a verbal debate or verbal things, which I'm not surprised because you do have a lot of activity with the people here and the communications. And so we want to do that with tact, and we want to, what I'm saying? Like, fighting's not the answer, Virgo. It's more about trying to find the win-win. How can we find the win-win with that other person in some way, right? So that could be a thing. And now let's pull a card from the Power of Eight Chakra Oracle, the pink ones, okay? We'll knock 3 times. For Virgo, what's in? Oh, that came up very fast. And so this is, I take a closer look, right? Your Virgo is run by Mercury, which likes to analyze and organize. And so here we are seeing that with the blue eyes and taking a closer look at the things. So taking a closer look at all the details when it comes to all these communications and all these social things that are happening for you, and all these texts and all these phone calls and all these neighborhood knocking at your door and blah blah blah, the busy busy. Taking a closer look at these things, um, and making sure you cross the T's and dot the I's properly. All right, taking a closer look. Now, before we go, Virgo, I wanted to say let's pull one more card from our guest deck called Tarot of the Enchanted Soul by Yasmin Westwood. Very cool deck indeed. I love it. Okay, so let's look at these beautiful blue cards here by Yasmin Westwood. All right, let's see for Virgo in November during Scorpio season. Oh, here it is. What is it? Oh, the Eight of Coins. Check it out. You are working on your craft, Virgo, this November. Apprenticeship, craftsmanship, hard work pays off. And like I said, you're going to be very busy in that third house. There's a lot of marketing and selling and business stuff and communications and social media and podcasts and writing and all these third house activations things. And so the Eight of Coins says, hard work and discipline do pay off here in being meticulous and crossing those T's and dotting the I's and having pride in your work, right? And being a specialist. Third house is often about a skills-based learning thing, being a specialist in your craft and teaching or learning some kind of specialization as well. So that's happening here. Eight of Coins. So that looks good for you, Virgo, indeed. All right. If you like this, please press like, subscribe, whatever. And also come see me for stuff and readings and courses and all the things that I offer at www.themoontree.org. All right, Virgo, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you. Thanks for watching the replay as well. Mwah, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.